In today's interest rate markets, let's look at the 10-year note futures as they're realizing some higher price action, recovering nicely from some selling pressure early in the session to reverse and move higher on the session. Currently priced at 112.19, which is basically the highs of the session, coming off an intraday low of 111.28, which is corresponds really with the lowest levels in 3 weeks for the 10-year note futures, before reversing and moving higher throughout the session. And when you look at some of the driving factors, data this morning appears to be one of the primary drivers. U.S. JOLTS job openings continue to decline, indicating less stress in the labor markets, and the Fed will perceive that as a positive step. Couple that with ISM manufacturing data, and one of the primary numbers within that data delivery this morning was the prices paid component coming in below expectations, even though manufacturing continues to struggle here in the U.S., holding below that 50 level, which indicates a decline in manufacturing. The prices paid component is, I think, the one primary driving data point, I should say, within the release of the ISM data. That was the catalyst for, again, supporting and finding higher price action, really, when you look at the treasury markets, particularly the back end of the curve today. And looking at the yields now, the 10-year yield hit a 401 print early in the session before, as I mentioned, reversing, and now we're down about 390, 391. Which is near the lowest of the session, down about 4 basis points on the day. So we get, again, seeing higher yields coming off and moving lower on the back end of the curve. After release of the Fed minutes today, that was another driving factor. It really didn't impact the back end of the curve, but it did have more of an impact on the short end of the curve, where we did see selling pressure prior to the release of that data point. And now we're looking at yields pretty much flat to lower across the entire yield curve. With the back end of the curve realizing some higher price action, 10-year note futures now near the highs of the day, as well as the yields now holding right around that 391 level.